she feels she was almost like a cautionary tale for you. Don't be like me, like actually enjoy your life.
It's been a while for me. I have been to many psychics. I have been to past life regression. I've been to all kinds of things, but it's been a while. Usually they say people turn to psychics when they're at a crossroads, but that's not for me. That's not the reason. I think the reason for me is I just want to know what's next. In this, I say I'm in the last chapter now.
Oh yeah,
and baby boy, and my life here is absolutely beautiful. I love it. I do whatever I want. I go, I do new things. I'm happy. But when I look on the horizon for the next 30 years, and I say 30 because I plan on living to 100.
Oh, good.
When I look out on the next 30 years, I say, I can't just be doing this for the next 30 years. As beautiful and wonderful as it is. So I don't know if there's going to be another man, a career, passion.
Yes.
So I'm just kind of looking for impressions.
Yes. Yes. Well, I love that. And I'm already getting a few things. And then, so in a moment, I'm going to close my eyes and really tune in. But it's funny because when you said your next chapter, I immediately got, it's going to be 3 chapters. And then when you said you're going to live at least 3 decades, I was like, perfect. And not that they have to be decade chapters, but that's an easy way to split it up.
Yes.
And I don't know if you've ever gone to an animal communicator. We'll see if something comes up about your cat. But and maybe your cat just loves attention anyway, but I feel like he's really talking to you a lot about, I feel, in like a sitcom where there's the main character and then the sidekick, I feel like that's how your cat is for you, almost in a comedic way sometimes too.
He's a character, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you his story afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
There is a bit of ouch. Unless you want me to just tell you now.
If you want to wait, you can tell me in a little bit because I don't want your cat to take the full center stage, although I'm sure he would be happy to do that.
Yeah.
I'm going to close my eyes. All right. So I'm going to start sharing a few things. I haven't yet already seen everything that's to come, but this is a little bit almost like a commentary or description of things past. So first I'm seeing things kind of lined up in a row, like everything is in order. I don't know if that was how you liked it to be or that you were very orderly and that's what you had to do. But then I get the feeling of like, for a while, everything was very orderly. And then it was like dominoes falling, like everything got swept to the side, knocked down, whatever. I don't get the sense of what the value is of like, was that good when things didn't have to be all, let's have everything orderly and in place, when it's more free form of like, we're not worried about everything in its place and everything in order.
Do you want me to comment?
If you want to, you're welcome to.
Well, I like my routine and I like everything in its place. And I'm very measured and neat and all that. And I have a plan and I follow through, but I'm totally out of the box at the same time.
Yes. Oh, maybe that makes sense why I'm getting these 2 then. Okay, good. So there wasn't like a dramatic event where everything was just like.
Well, I moved from New York after 70 years.
Oh, wow. That's incredible.
That's a big one.
That is a big one. And that's like a clean slate too. I love that. Okay. Okay, let's see what else I see. Yeah, and I'm sensing, I think you mentioned this a little bit about right now. For right now, I just feel like happiness, belly laughs, really good. Just that life is good. So I like that that's where you are now. And then let me see what I can see about moving forward in the future. Okay, so first off, and this is just related to probably the next like 1 to 3 years. I don't know if you're the type of person, well, one, I don't know if you have any grandchildren or not, but I'm getting this sense of, I know there's some people who are like, oh, I can't wait for the grandkids and I'm going to cry if I don't get them, or I just want to hold them and cry and all this. I'm getting the sense there's not going to be grandchildren in the short-term future. And I'm sorry if that makes you cry, but I get it, definitely not for the next 2 years. Maybe the year after that. It doesn't feel like they're coming that quickly. And I'm sorry about that.
So I said it's one of the biggest disappointments in my life, actually, I'll tell you. Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to sit with this for a minute because, yeah, I can sense that, because I almost felt like I couldn't talk about anything else until I talk about that. It's almost, I don't want to use the word block, but I almost get the feeling of like, before I can see anything else, I have to talk about this thing, which is so present. Well, and I'm going to ask, if do you let yourself just cry and be really sad about it? Or is it a little bit that
I accept it.
you accept it?
It's their lives. I have 2 children. It's their lives. They need to make the decisions. And I just have to play the hand that was dealt to me.
Yes. Okay. And if you want to cry about it, it's okay to stay in bed and cry about it for a day. If you feel like you need that at some point, if that'll help you accept it more too. Because I know, I mean, I'm not a grandparent, but I know from talking to the ones that I talk to and from looking at your energy, it's like that, as you said, that is an area of sadness. I don't get the sense that it's a never, though. I just get that in the short term, ain't gonna happen. But you know, there's always 3 to 5 years from now that could happen.
Okay, that would be better than nothing. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna see what else I see there. So one opportunity, I'll use that word, I guess, that I'm getting is that I'm getting a sense there are some young people who you could have that type of relationship with. I'm seeing you as like an advisor to, I don't know if it's a young teen. Yeah, it does feel like it's a teen, like 13, 14-year-old girl. And maybe it's more than one person, but you could be that type of grandmother figure in her life. But oh my gosh, the type of grandmother that any teen girl would want, who like has really good taste, is so like savvy and smart and out of the box. And I mean, liberated is one word I could use. I don't know how you feel about that, but I feel like there are at least 1 or 2 women who, even if there's not a biological connection, they would love to have you mentoring them and just opening them up to, I get the sense, I don't know if they have a mom in their life or it's just that their mom is so different than you, but the girl is more like how you are, and having you in her life, it would just be the greatest thing for her.
Well, is it like you see that it's there to happen? Like the energy is there for me to mesh with, or
Yes.
make suggestion? Oh,
yes. And I don't yet know who this girl is or like how you would meet her. Yeah, I'm seeing, so there's a few possibilities of, I don't know, let's say you have a friend where you live now who maybe, or a friend of a friend has, you know, a niece or a cousin or a granddaughter, and they don't have that connection with them, but you could. So I have a neighbor who lives down the road from me. She connects with people who are at Firmer and who've just graduated. And she told me the other day, she was like, I feel like I'm their grandmother, because she has no kids. So she's never going to have any kids or grandkids, but she has formed this relationship with a few people over the years, and they're loving it because they didn't it's not a family relation, but it's one that they chose, and they're still letting it be like a grandmother granddaughter relationship just because they decided that's what they wanted.
Did you say Furman?
Yes.
In what capacity? Was she meets the girls there, or what?
I would have to ask her. I don't know exactly how she meets them there. I don't know if it's through volunteer. I live not far from Furman University, so, but yeah, I'm getting, and let me look in again to see. I get the sense there could be a couple possible ways you could meet this person. You know, it could be through like a nonprofit that mentors young people, but I don't know if that might appeal to you, that might not. Or it could be like a friend of a friend who and it's not even like the young person is flailing in their life and needs someone, but there's something that you and her have in common, and it would just be a really great fit and provide a nice sense of like stability in that kid's life, but also I kind of feel that there's a confidence and a wisdom that you could convey to her. And it would also be fun for you because maybe she's into vintage fashion and loves posting about it and whatever, but she's getting a little bit too caught up in the things that 14-year-olds get caught up in that is kind of eroding her confidence, let's say. And you being in her life is like that grounding influence.
You know, I'll give you a little validation. So one thing, the relationship I had with my grandmother was the best. You know, she'd take me shopping in Radio City, and I mean shopping in the city and to Radio City, and we'd get lunch in the restaurants, and we'd go on the express bus, and it was also special. And I miss that.
Yes.
You know, that I could do that for somebody. So
yes.
I said to Tara, I said just the other day, I said, you know, Tara, I said, maybe I have to like get involved with like children.
Yes.
So maybe can get my satisfaction that way.
Yes.
Then when you said Furman, I stopped for a minute because I just signed up for classes at Furman in the fall.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So maybe there's something there in that. I'll have to see what that's about. But
I love that. Oh my gosh, I love that. This is giving me I'm getting chills, which is a good thing. So yeah, I feel that I love that you had this relationship with your grandmother, because to me, that's how it feels like, not that you're recreating it, but that you're creating that same kind of relationship with someone.
For someone to enjoy, enjoy.
Yes, exactly. And also, oh my gosh, I feel like this is a little bit silly, but you might not think it's silly. You know how people used to have calling cards that would be, and it's not a business card, but like a card that's very classy, that has your name. You should. That's what I'm feeling like you need to do, because here's also what I sense. You might be at the coffee shop at Furman, and some young college kid is like, oh my gosh, I love your necklace. And you chit chat for a minute, and then you say, here's my card. Let's connect again. Like, I see you.
So funny. Because I even wrote out the copy on my card, and the thing was La Femme Extraordinaire, looking for out of the box friendships and relationships. But you might have to tone that nowadays.
Yeah.
But the same thing, because, you know, I'm very outgoing and talkative, and I meet and talk to people everywhere. And usually I'll just say, hey, want to get lunch one day? You know, give me your phone number. But the card is definitely something. It's funny because I had thought very much about that. So,
okay, so good. This is definitely validation of get the card. And to me, I feel like it has an Art Deco feel, because you like that style of look.
I do.
And also, I don't know if this is your interest level too. Sometimes what I see is like possible paths, you know, and any one of them are good. So another possible path with this La Femme Extraordinaire is, I don't know exactly how it would play out, but maybe it's almost like this thing of salons that people would do, where people, the out of the box friends and thinkers, get together, have great conversation. And I don't know if it's a party or everybody meets, once a quarter or once a month somewhere, and you wear your best look and you bring the best things to talk about or whatever. But something, I could see that you might become this go-to organizer for all of these out of the box creative people who want more people like that, and you're kind of the one who gather us all together.
Well, I always was the gatherer and the leader, and I always was the entertainer. It was always at my house, my party. I was in charge, calling this one, getting that one together. So that is very much my nature.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, that is who I am. That is who I am.
I love that. Fun. Okay, let me see. Oh, do you have any other questions about what I've said, or should I see what else I see?
No, you go ahead.
Okay. Well, so the next thing I'm seeing, and I don't know if it was your phone or something in the background, I heard piano music, and then I start seeing this vision of like a piano player and you next to him, and a feeling of, in terms of time frame, this is probably somewhere between now and the next 3 to 5 years, a potential relationship. Although I also get the feeling of, for you, if he has too many expectations or drama or needs, you don't want that right now. You just want, like, if it's beautiful and it's fun and it's great, but if it isn't, you can move on, type of thing.
That's true.
Good. Oh, sorry. Do you want to go?
I was going to say, because I'm at the point of my life where I am just enjoying it and I can take care of myself and I make myself happy. It would just be nice to have the icing on the cake. I don't want anybody moving in with me. I don't want, a certain amount of commitment and obligation to the relationship, but it's got to be easy. And I don't mind commitment either. I was with one man for 21 years and one man for 22 years. So I'm not commitment phobic. But I'm taking a break right now. So he's going to have to be the male counterpart of me. Yes.
Oh yeah, I like that. I definitely feel like he would be smooth, not in a manipulative way, but smooth, just well dressed, good manners, classy, talented, artistic, and but similar as you, like, not, he's good in his own life, like he doesn't need someone, but someone being there is a bonus, but
Right.
There's not a lot of drama coming in with him. So
Do you see his energy? He's here.
I don't know if he's here, and the vibe I'm getting, and maybe he's not a piano player, but I see him at a piano, so I'm getting that feeling of like him at the piano and you at the piano too, listening to him. So play. Let me see if I can get anything else.
Not in my energy field yet.
I don't think so. Yeah, I get the sense, if you've met this person already, he's distant enough that either you haven't had a spark or it hasn't felt like potential. And I get the sense it might be related to this femme extraordinaire of like, I feel in a way of like, once that energy starts unfurling, I don't know if he's gonna, meet you through someone that you meet, or you're gonna both be at the same place doing something, and that's why you meet. It doesn't feel far off to me though, but it does feel like once this La Femme Extraordinaire is going on, that energy, that that's kind of the vibe he's in with too, because
Mhm.
he's out of the box thinker. And I will say though, he doesn't feel, I don't know what type of people you've been with in the past. Even though he's out of the box, to me, he feels calm. He doesn't feel like flashy or super talkative or even super extroverted. I don't know that I would describe him as quiet, but he's not, I don't know if he's the person that you would notice first off, but he's not unattractive. But I'm just saying he's probably not the most suave, flashy person in the room, but he is a really like quality, as I said, smooth, talented, really wonderful person to be around.
Mhm. Mhm. Okay.
All right, let's see what else I see. Okay, so I'm getting dancing, but I'm also getting not a spring chicken, but I also get this feeling. I don't know if you think about dancing and you're like, but I'm not a spring chicken, or if you're like, I'm dancing even if I'm not a spring chicken. Anyway, I definitely am getting this sense of like going out and having some fun dancing with people.
Well, I did try line dancing, but it was horrific because
Mm,
the instructor, I teach, and I
mm,
personally just didn't think she knew how to teach.
yeah.
Expected, she went too fast, she too much too soon. But there's line dancing at Furman,
Oh, nice.
except it's 9 o'clock in the morning. I think
Oh, I'm getting a evening vibe. So not that you can't go to that, but it doesn't feel like line dancing to me.
no, I love dancing. I love to go
Good,
out and dance.
good, good,
Yeah,
good, good.
yeah, that's good. I just haven't done it since in Greenville they have that Noma, the music every Friday night or whatever.
Yes.
Did that just once this year. Maybe I'll try it maybe next year we'll do it again. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds fun. Yeah. Oh, and again, if you have more questions, feel free to send them my way.
Mhm.
Okay, another thing, so in looking about work, I get a few things I get the sense of there's a part of you that wouldn't want to do your own business because what I see is like paperwork, but too much paperwork, and that doesn't feel like a good fit for you. But I do have this sense a little bit similar to I had about the young people of you in either an advisory role or a speaking role. So I get the sense of if you wanted, maybe there are nonprofits who need advisors or people who need someone to speak to their group about something that you know about. So if you wanted to do work, that's one potential path of, I don't know if consulting is the best way to put it. Maybe people would just pull you on. And I don't even know then if it's paid or maybe you just get free tickets to events because you spoke to such and such or served on their board. But I get that that's one possible avenue.
Well, you're right. I don't want to be. I've thought about going into business, but I don't want to work anymore at that level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think you're right. I think it doesn't feel like a great fit, but there might be short-term things that you do feel called to do that
Mhm.
feel fun. However, maybe what you're doing at Furman and dancing, connecting with these young people is going to be enough interest to you that there's no need to do this other stuff, at least in the short run. Yeah, the other thing about mentoring, I know that young people, for example, so what this gathering that you do that comes easily to you might not come so easily to other people, but they might want to cultivate that skill. And so a little bit what I'm seeing it with you speaking, and I don't know if it's one or two young people or to a group, or maybe one of these young people's like, I want to interview you, and maybe it'll be a podcast or maybe it won't, but like learning from you the nuances of, well, how do you throw a good party? Or what are you thinking about when you're gathering people together? Or how are you confident? And how are you out of the box? And yet things are also very well organized too, because I feel you have you have that je ne sais quoi that other people are like, well, I want some of that, but how do I do that? And maybe just being around you lets them start to learn from you. And maybe it's not even conscious, but every now and again you tell somebody something, and that's the thing. They're like, oh, that's golden. I'm gonna remember that.
Mm. You know, I do, as you're talking to me, something did pop into my head that I wanted to discuss.
Yes.
My parents, they're both gone,
Mm,
and there are regrets on over both of them. Do you
mhm.
do you delve into that type of thing?
Yeah, I'm happy to look into that.
Look at that and see what you get, and then I'll
Yes.
talk. Right,
Yes,
that way?
that sounds perfect. And
Okay.
then if you can give me a name, that helps, of your
Well,
mom and your dad.
my mother's name was Anne, and my dad's name was Bill.
Okay, Ann and Bill. Oh, and don't it'll take me a few minutes probably because I gotta get in the
That's fine.
zone
Take your
again.
time. Take your
Okay,
time.
thank you. All right, so I'm gonna share, I'm getting some stuff about Bill first, and then I'll see what I can see about Ann. And there'll probably be more that I'll see about him. So well, first I'm getting, I don't know if he had a gruff voice or I just feel something about his throat that I want to bring to attention, or maybe he cleared his throat a lot. I don't know if he had a gruff voice or a little bit of a gruff mannerism, but I definitely feel something about that. I'm getting this vibe of like him putting on his hat and heading out the door. Like he keeps on showing me that. And then giving me a whole, that's all sweetheart or goodbye, sweetheart of, and I don't know if he was so focused on putting a good face to the world and being a provider that he wasn't like as present as a father to you as he could have been. But I definitely get the sense of like I had to do what I had to do type of thing. Like that's just the way it was vibe from him of, and I don't want to say the word regret, but I guess I feel like there were certain things he felt like this is what my life is. This is what I have to do. There's no other way to think about it. That's kind of how he felt about some of the events about his life and or his relationship to you.
Well, he did not have a gruff voice.
Okay.
But the only thing I'm thinking of, and he was actually he had my personality.
Nice.
But the only thing when you said throat, the only thing I would say is that he did not talk about his feelings.
Oh.
And
Okay.
I think it was partly because he wasn't able to access them because he just had the best attitude. He just, no matter what came his way, nothing knocked him down. He just accepted everything, and life was beautiful, and he didn't ask questions. He was just like moving through life like that.
Wow.
So there had to be feelings.
Yeah.
And I think his biggest disappointment was with my mother. I mean, he loved her, they loved each other dearly, but I think she disappointed him on some levels. I mean, she was definitely the love of his life. That's not, but he would complain to me sometimes that she was so unsocial, like she was so different than him. And he wanted to go and do and have friends over. And she was like, oh no, I have to clean, or I know. So he was very disappointed in that aspect of her.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
And so it wasn't often that he spoke of feelings, but and yes, he always did put on a hat. He always did a hat when he left the house for sure. And But he was, by all intents and purposes, if you would ever meet him, you would say he was the most happy-go-lucky guy you
Oh,
ever.
that's nice.
Yeah, but the part about the throat, the hat, and the disappointments, I don't think the disappointment came from me, because him and I were like really buddies.
That's
Yeah.
nice. Oh, I love that. All right, let's see what I can see about Anne. Oh, it's funny though. Sometimes this happens I feel like I want to turn my attention to her, but I also feel like now Bill is like, but I want more time.
Well, I have to go in there. You said something about his relationship with me. What did you say again? Something about his regrets about something like that?
Oh, I don't know. Well, yeah, I was saying, I don't know if this is about a relationship to you, but the fact that I kept on seeing him like going out the door made me wonder. But also, when you're talking about him and his wife, of like him being more social, maybe he was just always wanting to be out doing things. And that's why I see him heading out the door a lot.
The reason I asked about, I mean, so at the end, I think he was disappointed in me. And I was wondering if you saw that, because I was always very close to him.
Yeah, let me look. All right, I do not see any disappointment. I rarely do, or I don't know if I have actually. No, I haven't seen disappointment. If anything, when I see people who passed on, they don't have disappointment for people here. They have disappointment about their own actions. But he's seeing me almost like butterfly kisses all over you. And then him like being really expressive about, you're amazing. You're right. I don't know what he's saying, all the words, but he definitely is feeling so much love for you, and lots of kisses and hugs and also, oh, like my only regret is I didn't get more time with you. I'm getting that, which feels
Not like I let him down or anything like that.
No, not at all.
Because
I feel like he thinks you're so precious to him and wonderful, and he just loves every bit of you.
I think so at the end, my sisters were taking care of him. They refused to get help. They refused to hire anybody, even though the money was there. They refused because they didn't want to spend the money. They're two cheapos. I was in a very demanding job, and I didn't mind. And there's a lot of resentment. And even I used to only be able to run over and see him once a week, twice a week, quick, every other week, whatever. And I thought maybe he felt abandoned or deserted by me.
I don't get that at all. I just see him showering you with love and kisses. But I do want to take a moment because my sense is any feelings that you're feeling right now about that time frame are more about family dynamics with your sister. It didn't change how he feels about you. Or sisters. Did you say it was two sisters? Yeah, that didn't change how he feels about you. Yeah, I feel like it's like you're his golden star and he loves and adores you, and nothing, the end of it, how his life worked out didn't change. I do feel like, and I hope this doesn't sound unkind to say, I feel at some level your one or both of your sisters also, how do I put this? I almost feel like they were happy that you were feeling sad or guilty or whatever, because they were a little bit jealous of the relationship you had with your dad. And so there's a little bit of this weird family dynamics of like cattiness or like sibling rivalry. Like that's what I'm getting about the end of his life time frame, in terms of and again, sometimes what I see isn't always what people are consciously choosing or acting, but I get a sense of so in one level or another, one or both of them let things play out the way that they would, because they knew that it would cause you some pain or angst or discomfort. And it's almost their way of being like, well, she can take this and we've got control over this, so we're going to make it how we want it to be.
Well, it was definitely a gang up. It was definitely 2 against 1 at the end too. They were trying to control the money and,
Yeah.
and I don't care what anybody says. He loved us all. He loved us all to the same, but I definitely was his favorite.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and I know that sounds like it can't happen if you love everybody the same, but that's not true. You can.
Yes.
And I remember my sister said to me, "You're gonna feel guilty when he's gone."
Mm,
Yeah. And I said, "I'm
yeah.
not gonna feel guilty because I'm not doing anything wrong."
Right. And yeah, I'm getting chills because I feel like they tried to spin it. And like you say, you and your father were very alike. So it's easy when you're really alike someone. It's like your connection is even stronger because you understand them at a deeper way. And I feel that was one of the layers of, because they didn't feel that special connection that you two had, it and maybe other things too. I feel like it just brought out the nastiness in them, or maybe there was already the nastiness and then they just let it go. And so I think as much as possible, let go, because he has no feelings of regret. And I do feel like you say, it was them ganging up on you. I feel like they were orchestrating that to create more tension, fraught feelings, whatever. And it's also like they knew, with you being so busy, you couldn't do more than you were doing. And so it felt like the perfect opportunity for them to just pounce and set it all up how they wanted to set it up. And people get this idea of kind of like, whatever happens right when someone dies is like, because that's the last moments, sometimes that can feel like now that's what defines our relationship, but that's not necessarily the case. And in this instance, it isn't. Like, your lifetime of a good relationship with him, that's what defines it. And that's still like, he has only love for you. Ironically, he has only love for his other daughters too, even though they were kind of not behaving that kindly towards you. But parents can love even despite the things that people do. But he just, there's only love and adoration there for you. And yeah, I get the sense he's cheering you on and just loving you so much. Oh, and okay, hold on, I feel like there's one other thing he wants to say. I'm kind of getting a sense of, it's a little bit like he's showing me, if you see this or when you see this, this is a sign that I'm there. He's using the word cookie, but I don't know I don't think he's actually talking about cookies, but, and again, I'm feeling back to this thing about jewelry. So I don't know if there were any pieces of jewelry that he bought you, or anyway, I'm getting a sense of, there's something about like, when you see such and such or look at such and such, that's a sign that I'm thinking about you.
Well, what's the such and such?
I'm trying to figure that out. Yeah, sorry. A cookie so far is what I'm getting, but I'm not actually seeing a cookie. I'm seeing jewelry that kind of looks like a starburst, but it is circular and it's about like this big.
I'll think about it. Yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes in it too.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, let me see what else. I'm going to ask if he can be a little bit more clear. Okay. he really likes this starburst image. So there are cookies that have it, but also if you don't have any earrings that have kind of like a starburst in a circle design, that's what he really likes. You don't have to go buy earrings like that, but you could. And then
I have,
every time,
I have earrings like that.
oh, you do? Okay. So he likes the idea of whenever you wear those or see those, remember his love for you, that you're his golden child, his golden star. And maybe with the cookies thing, I don't know if it's like if you're in the store or in a restaurant and you see cookies with that starburst design, then it's also like a little, like when you're out and about, that's him sending you a sign of hello. Yeah. And then I'm just getting him now. It's like, I love you, I love you, I love you, and just so much love there.
Never said that though.
No, he didn't. Maybe that's with his throat. Like, oh, that
I mean,
bums me out that he never said that.
he might say something like, you know, I love you kids, or you know, we do, you know, like that type of thing. You know,
Yes.
your mother loves you, even though she doesn't say it. But no, I don't think he ever just said, I love you, just like that. That generation, you know, that was they were raised by the immigrants
Yes.
who came over to this country. Those people were busy worrying about survival, not about,
Exactly.
you know, being
Totally.
mhm.
Yeah, I agree. I think with his generation, and maybe, you know, and also like you said, with his outlook of happy-go-lucky, but you always just you face life and you're happy about it and you live with it. It's like that was kind of his way of being. He wasn't necessarily like a lovey, what we would call a lovey-dovey person now, but there is so much love for you there.
Mhm.
And on the other side, all this cultural or how you're raised doesn't necessarily apply. I almost feel like people can be more free to be expressive.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. All right. Let me see if Anne has anything to say. Oh, this is funny too. Now I'm getting the sense that Bill's like, I'm happy, tipping his hat. He's like, I'll see you later. Mm. Whew. Mm. Okay. First off, you know, not that she's in pain now, but I'm getting a sense that for her, life was a lot harder than it was for your dad. I'm getting like this sense of like physical heartache, although maybe it also could relate to a heart condition, but I'm getting a sense of like a more difficult, almost like her life didn't turn out exactly like she wanted it to, or like she thought that it would. So some heartache, some sadness. And I get, compared to him especially, like I felt like his energy was a little bit more bigger. Hers feels very like small and kind of closed in. I don't know if anxious is exactly what I would use, but yeah. Okay. And I don't know if she was like a meek person at all, but I don't get that she was very expressive either with her words. Let's see what else. Okay. Goodness. Well, let me see. I don't know how accurate you'll find this, but I I'm getting the sense that there was someone that she fell in love with before your dad, and that even if it was a young love, like, and not that they had a relationship, but I get the sense that like she fell in love with someone, she got in a relationship with your dad, and at various points she would have pain because she was like, what would my life have been like with so and so? And even though she was happy to some degree with your dad, she felt a little bit like, oh yeah, this is giving me chills. Almost like like all throughout her life, it's kind of like she kept on thinking about what could have been, even though that wasn't that. And even though her life wasn't bad, it's almost like she couldn't fully be present with what was. She would think about and look at what could have been with this other person.
Well, I wouldn't know because she was not very verbal of
Mm.
her feelings, and she was very introverted, and she did not talk about feeling and emotion and stuff like that. And she was very closed off, and she was very anxious and phobic, and she got frustrated. I think that she always wanted a brought up at in those years, her dream was a house and a family and a husband,
Mm-hmm.
and she got it. But I
Mm-hmm.
think it was more on some level, I think it was more than she bargained for, in the sense that she was such a perfectionist and she was such a control freak that she wanted to build her own little dream house, castle, perfect family, perfect children. And when she saw how much work that took and how much control it involved, to have everybody look, act, be everything a certain way, it made her nuts. And I can remember her going in the bathroom and screaming and, locking the door or crying. Or I know at one point she had to go on medicine because she felt like she was having a nervous breakdown, because it was, the house had to be like spotless perfect, and we had to be so spotless perfect. And I think how do you do that with 3 kids?
Yeah. Yeah.
And she had a modest little ranch house, but
Mm-hmm.
she had visions of grandeur. So she decorated with chandeliers and
Oh,
and
wow.
and, and gold picture frames, and she tried to create a scenario of
Yes.
palace and of wealth. Not that my father didn't do well, because he did,
Mm-hmm.
but I think that she just always had these illusions of grandeur. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that, so in that sense, maybe it didn't work out the way she thought it would be, or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's just what comes up into my head from what you said.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And that, I mean, that makes sense of like th- almost like a one way to put it is a dissatisfaction, like you say, of like wanting things a certain way and trying really hard, creating this scenario. Yeah. And I also get the sense of, and again, as we were talking about your dad, some of it is a generational thing. I feel like how you parented your kids, and then when your kids have kids, how they parent them is so different and more like conscious and aware of thinking about the relationship than they did for that generation. Because I I know that your mom loved you, but I also get the sense of like for her there was so much going on internally that it didn't allow her to have that kind of relationship with you, that if she wouldn't have been so nervous or on the verge of a nervous breakdown or wanting everything to be perfect, she could have
Mm-hmm.
enjoyed her life more
Mm-hmm.
than she
Mm-hmm.
actually did.
Mm-hmm. And she did have she made it hard.
Yes.
And she did have heart issues, and that is what killed her.
Wow.
So you did
Yeah.
say, but I think that's because her heart was so sick. I don't,
Yes.
emotionally.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Because to me, it felt like heart pain, but not just a heart attack, but pretty much like a lack of love for her own life and a lack of gratitude and dissatisfaction. All right, let me see what else I see about her. I'm getting this feeling of like her putting her arm through your arm, like how you put your arm through somebody's. And she, I don't know if it was her mom that you had the good relationship with or your dad's mom, but she was glad that you had that. And especially now, like from beyond, she's like, I'm glad you had that love and that connection, because she wasn't giving that to you, but you had it in your life, which made her feel good about it. because I also get the sense of like she, oh yeah, she had so much heartache, she couldn't show you the good things of life because she felt like they were always out of reach. So
Mhm.
how could she be like, let's go do this fun, special thing when life didn't feel fun or special to her?
Mhm.
And in a way, like if she was going to have a regret, that her regret would be like of not having the kind of relationship with you that she could have. Ooh, gosh, I'm just feeling so much of this heartache, which is so makes me sad. Yeah, I feel sometimes when souls move on, they're pretty, I don't say quick, but more quickly they will just start on with the next phase of what their existence is. I feel like your mom is still processing her life in the beyond and all of that heartache,
Mm.
because I don't feel she is at the point yet where it's like she has moved beyond that and she's in the next stage of like, here I am in the afterlife doing the cool things that we do. To me, it feels like there was so much heartache and grief that she's still moving through that.
And I have to tell you, the heartache and the grief did not come from my dad because he treated her like a princess and gave her a beautiful life. This was
Yeah.
self not being able to get out of her own way.
I think you're right. And that's the amazing thing to me is it really feels like it was all her. And I also get the strange sense of if she would have been with this other guy, she probably would have still had the same life, always looking at, well, what could have been. Like, I
Mhm.
don't feel in her mind, she wondered what could have been if I went with this other person.
Mhm.
But it wasn't the other person, it was that she was always mm, like almost not able to live her own life or enjoy her own life because she was always thinking about what could have been.
Well, never like nothing was like I always got the sense I wasn't good enough because she
Yeah.
was always, fixing this curl or, straightening the collar, which is why I look like this. You said you look because this what you do when you have a mother like this. You get up every day and you put on your earrings and your makeup and your jewelry, and that's what you do. You know,
Yeah. Yeah. Ah, yeah,
and
but I do think I'm glad that you know, or I hope that you know, because one of the things I want you to know that's from her and what I'm seeing of this is you were always good enough, but it's like she couldn't get out of her own way to just let some things be or to not have everything be ever curl perfect
she
and
was a
all
good,
of that. Because even when it was perfect, she
yeah.
still had the heartache and the discontent.
Yes, I mean, she had it not easy growing up with her mother, so I understand. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, but understanding is one thing, and processing the emotions is other. Is yeah.
Yes, definitely. Yes. Okay, before I like tell
Mhm.
her to go in the nicest way, I'm gonna see, does she have any insight about like how to maybe see the relationship in another way or make peace with it or all of that? Oh, okay. This is interesting. So, a few things. She's telling me, well, one, she looks at you and just thinks, wow, like look at how beautiful you are and your life is good and put together and your outlook and perspective. So she really loves and admires that about you. As I said, she has a little bit of regret about how your relationship wasn't different, but she was like, in a way, she's okay with, she feels she was almost like a cautionary tale for you. Don't be like me, like actually enjoy your life. And so in that way, she feels okay with how things were because she feels like her being this contrast to you allowed you to forcefully be like, I'm gonna live my life and be joyful and like see the good in it and not just look at what could have been. And then the other thing, sorry, there was one third thing that she wanted to say. I think she doesn't, I'm not sure exactly how to say this, but it's like, even though she couldn't enjoy her life, she doesn't want you or us to look at her and be like, oh, how sad, your life was a waste because you couldn't enjoy it. Like, even though that was her issue, is, I mean, who wouldn't want to be married to someone who thought you were the love of their life and and have 3 kids and all of that? So it's like, even though she couldn't enjoy it, if we can enjoy it, then that makes her happy, because it's almost like she was never going to enjoy it while she was alive, but the rest of us can see that it was good, and we don't have to be sad that she couldn't see that. Like, it just is what it is.
Hmm. Hmm. You know, it's funny. At one point, she did say, she gave me a birthday card, and it said, "I'm proud of you and all your achievements," which is, she never ever verbalized it. But,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it said something about being independent and, admiring that, or something like that. So yeah, that's true what you said.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was something else I was going to comment to give you validation, but I can't. Oh, yes, yes. Being the mother that she was, I made a conscious effort to be a different mother.
Mm-hmm.
To be the mother to my daughter that I wish my mother was to me. And actually, her being who she was made me who I am. So
Exactly. And that, now I'm getting chills. And in that way, she has no regrets for her life, because she feels she lived the life that she chose, and she got to help push you to be so glorious and so amazing, because how present it was that she couldn't do that. And yet it taught you from such a young age and throughout, it's like, to enjoy life and to embrace it, and to, yeah. So I love that.
and my 2 sisters had a totally different experience with her. They got along
Wow.
just great. They have none of the regrets that I have. They thought she was just,
Wow.
so it was just a different dynamic. Probably that I was the oldest, and
Yes.
she really laid it on me from the beginning, I guess.
Oh my gosh.
She and I
Ah,
fought until I got married. I'm
wow.
trying to control my life. That's what the fight.
Yeah.
You can't do this,
Wow.
wear that. You can't go there. You can't do this. You can't do that.
Oh my gosh.
And that's what made me so defiant, I guess, and feisty and determined to get what I want. But it's okay. That's okay. Oh,
Yes.
yeah, I don't know if we have any more time. No, we're out of time.
No, we're pretty much out, because I have another call here in a few minutes.
Okay, no problem. It was great.
It was. Thank you so much. And
Oh.
thank you for, letting me look at your life and get to know you. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
I'll give you any feedback, like if I see this happens with the piano
Yes.
cookies, or yeah, I will let you know.
Oh, thank you so much.